All right, so last week we wrote this simple file writer class, right? And just to review what we did, we created a file called myfile that was example.txt. And if you ran that and everything worked out well, then you got a new example.txt file that was inside of your files project. So let me just go ahead and open that. So that we can kind of compare what happens when we do each of these lines inside of here. So we have a print stream object that is going to basically write to that file. The print stream object requires us to have this try catch block, and the try catch block basically is going to catch the error of that file not being found. Okay, let's just look at that real quick here. So we have a try catch block here and the file not found exception that we really don't have much control over when we're programming is caught right there. Okay, so this is just like an error message in case that file didn't get found. Then we're using the print stream called writer to print, in this case, 4 different lines. And you can see that Mr. Wozniak 39 the char m and the boolean true get printed out over here, and it's really just text. Okay, it's really just printed out as text. Okay, there's nothing over here that makes this a boolean, for example, rather than the string true. Does that make sense to you? Okay. And then always important to close whatever connections you have to a file when you're done using it. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we're in the files project now. We're going to make a new class, and that class is going to be simple file reader. Okay, we want that to have a main method. Okay, so the idea here is that we're going to read this file. So we're going to read the string off of here, Mr. Wozniak. We're going to read this and hopefully make it into an int. We're going to read this, make it into a char. We're going to read this, make it into a boolean. Okay? So, just like when we're writing to a file, when we're reading a file, we have to use a try-catch block as well. Okay? So we're going to try and catch the file not found exception. And just like we did last week, let's just put in a simple system.out.println, and we'll put in the file was not found. So a file not found exception has to be imported. And right now it's underlined because there's really nothing for me to catch. So it's basically like the error is, why would you have a try catch when there's nothing to catch? Yeah. So you might have to go to Window, Open Perspective, and then select Java. Does that fix that? Okay. Anybody need more time?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see that second one.
All right. So inside of this try catch, inside of the try block, what we're going to do in here is first make a connection to the file. So we're going to go file my file equals new file. And remember that the name of this file over here is example.txt. Okay, so the other place that you can look for that is inside of your project. You should see the file here. If you didn't call yours example.txt, then make sure you put in whatever you called your file. Okay, but we're going to go example.txt in here. And then we're going to use an object type that we've already used before, and that is scanner, to scan the file. So I'm going to call this file reader. All right. I'm going to import file and scanner using Control-Shift-O. Let me go back to this. So there's 4 different options for scanner on my computer. The one that I want is java.util. Okay, and then file is again java.io. All right. So this new scanner connecting to my file is the thing that's going to possibly throw this file not found exception. So that's why we need that catch there. And let's remember that when we're doing this, we always want to close any files that we open. Okay, so file reader.close at the bottom there. Okay, so scanner, like we've already seen before, has a bunch of like next methods. Okay, next gets a string, next line gets a string with spaces in it, next int, next double. So if we want to read stuff off of this file, we can declare variables to keep track of it. So string name will be the first thing that we're reading off the file. So we're going to go next. And if I just do next, like this, all right, the thing that it'll read off of the file is Mr. All right, it'll stop at that white space there. Okay, so if I have something like that, like I do in my case, okay, then we want to make sure that we do something like next line. Okay, next line is going to read the whole string off of there and make it so that the next thing that I read is the next line of the file. Okay. The next line of this file, the 39, what type of variable would that be? An int. Okay, so int, that's my age, equals, I'm going to go file reader dot, and now this is giving me a couple options here. Hash code doesn't really sound like what I want to do. Okay, I always want to use next when I'm reading something off of the file, so next int looks like the thing that I want to do there. So arrow down and hit enter, next int. So that'll make age equal to 39. Okay, and then m, well, could either be a string or a char. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it a char. Okay, so that's my gender. All right, and let's go file reader dot. Okay, so it'd be nice if it would just give me a char like the int did, next int. I don't think there's anything that says next char. Okay, so you see how like that list goes away? It's saying there's nothing next C. Okay, so what do I do? Well, let's read it as a string. So let's go file reader.next, and then let's somehow pull a char out of that string. Okay, so this is a little bit of review, but here we can use the char at method from the string to get the char that I want. Okay, so let's go char at. All right, and what index will this m be at in the string m? Which index will it be at? So you're thinking like 0, 1, 2, but really this is the whole string now. So let me explain what's going on here. Okay, file reader.next is going to read m, but it's reading it as a string. Okay, All right. And we want to put that in this char called gender. So we're going to pull one character out of this. Okay? So let's look at Mr. Wozniak. All right? Mr. Wozniak has 1, 2, 3, spaces 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chars in there. Right? What index is this capital M at in that string? Index 0. Okay? This string down here, M, has one character. What index is that M at? 0 again. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, all right, read the one character M, and then we just want the char at index 0. Okay? And then let's put a comment in there because that wasn't too easy here. So let's go char at 0 gives you the first char of the string. Okay? Okay? So then true here, I think that was my marital status. Okay? But what variable type would we expect this to be? Say it again. A Boolean, right? So we're going to go Boolean married equals, and then let's just see if we can get that off the file. So file reader dot, we're looking for next Boolean, and there it is at the top, next Boolean. So I'm going to hit enter, okay? And now I'm reading all of those lines off of that file, okay? And you guys see how you can read a string or read an int or read a Boolean. Reading a char is kind of an extra step, but you get the idea, hopefully. Let's just go ahead and print all those out so we see that we actually read them. And I'm just going to print them out all at the same time. So I'm going to go name plus age plus gender plus married. Okay? So that's not going to look very nice, but I don't really care because I just want to get the idea of reading the file. Let me run that. And there it is, Mr. Wozniak 39, M true. Okay?